Hello and welcome to another episode of the Musicians Talk Show podcast. This is episode number 96.
That's right. And I'm Matt Tolley.
And I'm Dallas DeWhite. And we are here to wrap up 2019.
Right. This is the last episode of the year, ladies and
last
gentlemen.
episode of the year.
It's been a hell of a year.
This is our, we started this show February 2018. So it's basically wrapping up our second full year of the podcast.
Exactly. In February.
We can round down. We can say we started in January, right? So whatever.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Pretty soon, we're going to be like 10 years in. It won't even matter.
It won't even matter, bruh.
Remember what year it was?
Can you imagine doing this for 10 years? Like where we will
I bet we'd be a lot better at
it. One can hope.
Yeah. So
let's first say Happy New Year's to everybody, because obviously you won't hear from us before New Year's Eve. So Happy New Year's to everybody.
Yep. Hope you guys are safe, responsible, and make it to 2020. Remember, it's a race of what is it called?
War
Endurance.
of attrition.
A war of attrition. That's it. Can't spend your life on 2020 the night of.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's all see the new decade together. And later we're going to talk about, since this is the last show of 2019, we're going to dive into kind of our review of this year, our favorite moments, guests, etc.
Yeah, might as well.
We're going to be talking about some other little fun things. And but let's start this show the way we always do, with a little bit of a weekend review.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
Unfortunately, we're going to be leaving out the biggest part of our weekend.
Yeah, I know. There's a big chunk of it that was pretty cool that we're going to wait, because obviously.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about everything in episode 100, and we don't want to spoil anything or over talk shit that we.
Yeah, we're putting a lot of extra work on the side
that
right now just for episode 100. That's just what we're talking about.
So that big thing we did on Friday was pretty much my big weekend thing.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah. So what else did you do besides that, Matt?
I went to a show on Saturday night after that, after our big thing, and then it was a cool show. I love the band.
You mean Friday at the Milestone, right?
It was Friday, yeah, and I did. I was trying to make it to see my friend's band that headlined, and they're awesome. Black Powder is the band. I was a little bit disappointed to see such a low turnout, but it still was an awesome show. They sounded great. Dallas, what are you doing? They sounded great. I want to see the scene do better than that. I want to see more people come out to these shows, man. We gotta get better at promoting. We gotta get better at getting people excited and all that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so depressing, and I feel bad for people who come out for the first time in a while and maybe see a show and they're like, "This is what shows are like."
What was the bill again?
Like this. Huh?
What was the bill again?
Black Powder, and we were so late getting done with that session. We went a little longer than we anticipated, so I just caught them. I don't even know who was opening.
Yeah, we finished. We were standing out in the parking lot maybe about
11:15. I think
we also went to dinner though.
Right.
So the session was the normal 4 hours.
Well, we already had the drums set up because of the.
That's true.
So that was a good thing. But anyway, so we saved a lot of time, but we were still running a little later than I had hoped. And by the time I went back to my place and tried to wrangle everybody to come out, which nobody else would, of course, everybody was just busy doing their own thing. So I just went back over there, whatever. It's 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And went in, paid my admission and supported the group. I love that group. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
I'm sure they're very happy to see you.
Yeah, and we're playing there next weekend.
What was the turnout like? You said it was bad.
I don't know. I mean, the other bands were there.
Just low.
It was the other bands there, and there was maybe.
You wonder why? I would probably attribute that to holidays.
Could be. That's what I hope. I hope
everybody's out of town. Everybody's moving. Everybody's sitting at home in a food coma.
Exactly.
The last thing they want to do is fucking go to a show or whatever.
Yeah, it could be that. So you never know, but I hope to see in 2020. I hope to see show attendance go up on all accounts. Everybody. I want to see people going out there and supporting.
I mean, it doesn't just go up though.
No, you have to drive it up.
Something about it.
You have to drive it up. We have to make exciting music. We put on exciting shows and promote them well. That's a key. I think we got the music down. I think I'm pretty proud of both of what our bands can do. I mean, and now it's just a matter of just getting people excited and coming out, partying with us.
Yeah.
Anyways, not to get on that rant, but it was an awesome show. I loved it. I loved just being able to go to the Milestone like that and seeing badass bands like that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my Saturday had Goliath come over, our singer, and we finished the vocal tracking for our new single, Fake.
Yes.
Which is potentially slated for release February 21st, 2020, which is when we're doing a big release show at Amos's and we're unveiling the Guns N' Roses tribute and all that stuff. So we're trying to get all that on the same day so we can really try to put some asses in seats.
Exactly, dude. That's the thing, is it's combining big events and making them like a even bigger event and making like people can't deny that, they should go to this show,
Yeah. So we're going to be playing it live for the first time, and we're going to be releasing it everywhere. So
I'll be there. I can't wait.
Yeah, that should be super fun. Super excited about the song. I think it's probably our best yet.
The show is at Amos's. Am I correct? Okay.
Amos's South End in Charlotte.
Shout it out for everybody.
Yeah. So the LA Maybe is going to be opening up, and then anything goes after that. LA Maybe we're going to be playing real short.
So
maybe 5 or 6
change.
songs.
Wardrobe change.
Yeah. So and most people, I would wager 95% of people don't know it's us.
I bet. We'll see.
So there's going to be a little bit of a fun, like laughing, like, oh, it's the same fucking guys.
We'll see as people realize.
He put on a hat,
Exactly. That's funny. Cool.
But the fun kind of laughy jokiness of it will fade away probably within the first couple songs.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
like, oh, they actually sound pretty good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rock show, of course.
Yeah, we do a lot of guns, so we're excited. We're spending the rest of the year and the first part of the new year. We're not really gigging. We do have one gig that popped up. We weren't planning on it, but it popped up. So that's January 4th. But other than that, we're just rehearsing the set, running the show. We're gonna have a keyboard player playing with us that night, both for the originals and the guns thing. He's not officially in the band, but he's going to be helping us out with that show, and it's kind of a trial period thing we're trying out. So we'll see.
Cool. Yeah.
We'll see if all that works out.
Nice.
Matt, you have a big release coming out.
Yeah, that same day, January 4th, that you guys are going to be. What did you just say?
That's just a random show.
It's a random little show you guys are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That night, it will be the day that our album comes out. So that's pretty cool. Finally,
what's that date again?
All that. It's January 4th, 2020.
January 4th,
so that's cool.
2020.
It's been a long time coming, Dallas. You were a huge
long
part of it.
Long time coming.
Huge part of it. Super
year
happy
and a half?
the way it turned out. Yeah. I would wait.
Summer 2018. We did
years
the drums,
almost.
right?
Yeah. If you really think about like the writing process, and it's hard to really.
So when we did those first 3 way back, that was 2016.
Yeah, that was like. Yeah.
Did you have the others done?
No, I mean
like
some of them maybe, like some of them were on the
later?
way. They were all like little like pieces, there was nothing really in stone. But it was all kind of gearing up for this, making a whole album.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so it takes a long time. You know how it is, especially doing it on a budget, doing it,
Yeah, when you get if and when you get hard copies, give me one
absolutely,
for sure.
and they should be here by the 9th, by January 9th. Anywhere from the 2nd to the 9th is what they told us.
Yeah, what's the name of the album?
Prep and Barium, self-titled.
Oh,
yeah.
So we
changed it.
Okay, cool.
Because we wanted to go simpler on design to help get the album out. We figured like we could spend another month or 2 on just putting artwork together and coming up with a whole direction, but we ended up going really simple and
I just realized what your guys' logo reminds me of.
Polyphia?
It's kind of like this one almost,
Okay, yeah, the P, the big fancy P. Totally.
I don't know what that is. That's not.
I don't either.
Oh, that's a joke.
You'll like the fact that our font that we use Prep and Barium and everything, it's called Goliath.
That's amazing.
And there's like all kinds of different versions of it. There's Goliath Grunge, Goliath Inline.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's funny. That's amazing. So Prep and Barium, old album title that I knew is scrapped. It's just self-titled.
Right. That was music for your dark heart, or as Dallas would put it, music for your black dick. I love it. That's so funny, dude. It was gonna be music for your dark heart, but yeah, we just simplified everything. Self-titled, bare bones artwork. As far as that goes, our friend Randy Seeds killed it. Like just the last minute, and really put some cool things together. And I'm excited. It's a fold, like a fold with a booklet inside it and everything, but not like a traditional jewel case. We went with
cool
cardboard, so biodegradable, right?
Right.
In case somebody, loses it in the woods.
Speaking of art, we are in the process of getting our next T-shirt designed.
Oh, cool.
And I'll show you, Matt. Obviously, no one else can see this. This is why we're moving to video, so you guys can see this soon. But if you guys don't use 99 Designs, I highly recommend it. They are the best, or for some reason, they have the best artists.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Huh. I wonder if they're more scrutinizing, Do you think? More scrutinizing, or they pick them, by hand or something?
I don't know, but they're all just super top. Total number of completed projects. Why can't I see? Am I logged in as the wrong person? Oh, so, it's going to turn into a whole thing.
So you guys are outsourcing your T-shirt artwork, though?
Right.
To 99 Designs. Is that pretty affordable?
You'll see why. We paid him $200.
Okay. That's
so I would say it's pretty affordable for like the quality you're getting.
Sure. If it's a good solid
all
design.
These guys are like the proest of pros.
Cool, man. That's a good idea.
Let me see if I can find this.
I do a lot of our stuff just on my iPad and kind of, keep it simple because I know obviously there's limitations.
Here it is. Yeah, so this is the second sketch.
Oh, cool.
So we're obviously still in some.
Can I describe it or should I wait?
Yeah, let's wait.
Okay.
I don't know, but
cool,
like
guys.
that kind
hey
of
guys, it's just cool.
real artwork is not my forte. I can't do the real
Right,
artwork. But
right.
if you need a graphic thing with text and cool shit like that, I can do that all day.
Right.
But,
And is this a rough what I'm looking at right now, or is this
well, this
how
is the
the
sketch.
design
Yeah,
is?
he colors it and all that
Okay,
stuff
okay,
later.
okay,
But
cool.
then we're fixing some of it that I didn't like.
I like it a lot. I like the design itself.
Yeah, the idea, the concept was Goliath's idea.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
so
that's very
we're
cool.
seeing that through.
When will people be able to see this artwork?
As soon as he's done, he's probably in the finishing stages now.
Nice.
And 99 Designs, affordable.
cool.
You can have. So we found an artist that we liked and just messaged him and hired him. What you can also do, which is what they're famous for, is you can host contests. So you can say, hey, I'm Matt, my band's Prep and Barium. Here's our lead single. We need artwork. Go.
That's a really cool
All
idea.
the people, all the designers
yeah.
are able to design something real quick and be like, here's my submission. Here's my
And
submission.
is
And
it
then you
just
pick
you
your
get
favorite.
roughs like of submissions, or do you just get like full finished?
Usually don't get full finished ones because they'll have to put so much time in on that. and They might not even get
That's
it.
what I
you
was
know?
wondering. They might just
So
put
they'll
the-
do a quick like mock up or something.
right. Like,
and
what
then-
about this? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you see someone like, oh, I like what this guy's vision is, and I like his style, so I'll go with him.
Nice.
And then
Oh,
you
that's
finish it.
cool.
Now, if
I
you do
mean-
the contest, it's more expensive, but
Maybe I'll
it's,
look into that because I'm kind of thinking it'd be cool to have. I like the contest thing. I guess it is more expensive though, right? You're pulling a lot of resources.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like that because like if you want like maybe a cool, like a big event's coming up, you want a cool poster that's like really just
for those kind of
next
things, I
level.
would say it's probably not affordable unless
No.
you're really making
So
a lot
making
of
a
money.
poster would be more expensive, you think?
Making it well, if you're doing like something kind of one time like that, like that T-shirt design, whatever we get, like we're going to be able to hold on to forever, and constantly produce T-shirts with.
Oh, so you're
With
saying like a show poster would only be for one time use.
for
and
one
might not be
time, and you're
worth
going to
it.
spend $300 to $500 on that,
Right,
like just
right,
for the
good
design of it, not printing it, nothing. You know,
Good point. Good point. So maybe album covers would be like more
album
efficient way to-
covers,
yeah.
T-shirts, logos, I don't know, other stuff.
Anything that would be more permanent. Like yeah, I would.
Yeah, anything you could use over and over and over again.
Right. Right. That's cool. That's a good little resource right there.
Yeah, and you get top quality work. It's there's nothing worse than seeing something cool and it's just shoddy amateur work. Like
Yeah, of course.
for example, like, oh, the music's good, but like they clearly have no idea what they're doing, like art wise.
Exactly.
Everything's
Well,
out of focus.
and
like,
you see it a lot around in North Carolina, and I see just a lot of DIYers is really what it is, and you
Yeah.
just got to know when you need to outsource and when you need to.
yeah, and you got to be able to afford it or figure out how to afford
Right,
it.
exactly, and I understand that people are just doing what they can to make it happen. I get it. I am too.
Yeah, we all are. So going DIY in some instances and knowing when to hire out.
Yeah,
that's
knowing
kind of
when
a
to
tough
hire
thing.
outsourcing. You're right. Yeah.
And also being honest with yourself, look at something and say, this doesn't look very good.
exactly, exactly.
Or we could do better.
Yep.
Like I knew when Goliath had that idea, I was like, that's great. I'm not gonna be able to
Exactly,
design
right,
that. I'm
exactly.
gonna have to
You
get
knew-
someone to do
right,
that.
you knew
and I'm
that
not gonna get fucking my friend Becky, who I
Right,
knew
exactly,
in college. Like I'm not
exactly.
gonna do that. I'm gonna get someone legit who can really deliver on a deadline, do
fact
really
that-
high quality work, accept revisions and criticism and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the fact knowing that 99 Designs is out there is the big thing there. And you can lean on that as a resource.
By the way, I do not have a friend named Becky. That was just a random.
Yeah, I figured. I've never heard of Becky in my life. I was like,
But a lot of people are like, yeah,
Becky
a
back.
lot of
Dallas,
people.
who the hell's
So many people are like, yeah, my friend does art, and it's like, oh,
Whatever, hey.
like let me see their portfolio because I'm not like trusting them, Like,
totally.
very rarely is someone like, yeah, my friend does art, and you look at it and you're like, wow, this guy's phenomenal. Very rarely.
Yeah, and if you have that, then that's when you go with that.
Yeah,
when
if you
a
have
friend
that,
that's
then absolutely,
phenomenal,
that's
right.
when you use your friends.
If you
and
really
stuff
do
like that.
love it, like obviously that's.
But if you just have a friend or a fan who's like, let me do it, like
cool
I
thing
would say
too-
give him a shot. But
yeah, and the cool thing too is the collaboration. If you really do love somebody's artwork and they're your friend and
Right.
they love your music, maybe then that's a good collaboration. That's
Yeah.
the way you want it to be.
Those things are rare, though. What
Exactly.
happens more often than not is you feel this friendship bond that you let supersede the quality of work that you
Exactly.
want.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, well, he's my friend, and it's fine.
Exactly.
And that's fine, but you're just gonna look fine instead of awesome. you know?
Exactly. I mean, you got to just know what you're capable of. You can have something really awesome, So
Yeah.
it's all about when you need it, what you need, what's best for you.
Yep. So, one quick thing, we signed on with a company called Apex Entertainment, the LA Maybe, which is our 5th agent. So what we're doing is we're reevaluating how we do this. So we have 5 different agents that send us gigs, and right now they all go through Foz.
Okay.
So Foz then has to send to he's having to coordinate all these different people. Like, can you do this day? I don't know. He's trying to book us. Can we do this day? And he's constantly going back and forth.
Right.
So we're getting Chris Stout, the owner of Apex Entertainment. He has a lot of music managing experience. He's agreed to kind of basically be our manager.
Nice.
to field all of the incoming gigs. So instead of them going to Foz, they'll go straight to Chris, and Chris will say, yeah, they can do this date. No, they can't do this date, because he knows what he's working on, because he's also booking. So he knows stuff like, I have a tentative date for June 19th. And they want to do the 19th. So I know that's not going to work, even though it's not booked yet.
Right,
you know what I mean? Where we wouldn't know that. We would just be like, yeah, 19th. Cool. We don't have anything. And then Chris will be like, damn it, I had something like almost done right then, you know?
So he's booking for you guys too, is what you're saying. Okay,
Right.
So
that's how we got in contact with him. He was going to be our, just another booking agent. But now with his management experience, he managed DeCarlo for a long time. So he knows what he's doing.
Very cool.
And, I say all that to say we're meeting with him right after this. So
cool.
it's going to be a fun meeting. Exciting to kind of have a manager in the mix for the first time ever.
And we had talked about managers this year at some point. We kind of had, don't go seeking a manager, but when you feel like it's necessary, that's when you...
Yeah, we kind of stumbled onto it.
Right, exactly.
Because I just had the idea of like, well, I feel like we could just let Chris handle everything. So I was texting back and forth with him about, would you be into this?
Yeah.
And he's... so far, I mean, he seems like the perfect guy. He's been above and beyond, like looking out for us already, even when he has no interest in doing so.
That's what you want. Exactly. You want to feel like you're taken care of.
Because I was trying to take care of him, and I gave him a deal.
Right.
And he straight up said, you're being too generous with me. How about this instead?
Nice.
Gave himself less money.
There you go. Well, he recognizes
and he said, I want to look
out.
I want to look out for you guys. And that right there told me like this guy's
That's trustworthy, right?
Yeah. He's above and beyond like a normal like manager, shady kind of guy.
There you go. Well, that's good, man.
He's had a proven track record of success with DeCarlo.
Yep.
They parted ways due to some personal differences, which I don't know all of the details on, but I will get.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Is he going to be doing?
Moving on to the next note.
All right. No, is he going to be doing just the cover stuff, or is he doing your original band too and booking guys?
The whole band. It's all the same name.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's all the same name. Obviously, I just didn't know if he was only handling like because I know that the cover thing is where you guys are doing a lot of it because people like are demanding that.
Yeah, but what we're doing is we're trying. We know ourselves that there's the cover band and the original band.
Of course, yeah.
We're not trying to let other people see it as that. Okay. We're trying to let other people see like, hey, this is a great original band that happens to play some rock covers on Saturday night sometimes.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
So, hey, I can go there. I can hear all of their original music.
Right.
I can buy merch. I can, it's the same name. They look the same, all that good stuff.
That's a good point. Right.
And one of the big ways we're doing that is we're revising our set list for 2020. It's kind of taking a back seat to this Guns gig because we have a lot more rehearsing for that. But we're going to try to start dropping a lot of the pop and adding in more rock. So basically all the time you're seeing a rock band, even if we're not playing original music.
Cool.
So, but yeah, anything the five of us are doing.
Yeah, it's LA Maybe.
Is LA Maybe.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
Even anything goes is LA Maybe. So if he's going to be kind of in charge of all that.
This cat is probably going to be adding extra microphone noise because she's rubbing her face right on the backside of it.
She gets up here into situations that she can't get out of, and then she doesn't know what to do.
Right, she's half on and half on the monitor stand.
Let's hop down. Let's hop down.
Yeah, she's gonna knock everything over. Here it comes.
She's funny. She just loves us so much.
Well, maybe video people will get to see how funny she really is.
That's a good point because we decided we're going to do it in this room, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we got to just.
You guys aren't going to have the ability to see this, obviously, but I was thinking we just drop that thing right behind us.
Yeah. So just a backdrop behind us in front of a table, maybe, I think, and then...
Yeah, and we can sit back a bit like you had suggested.
I think that's the easiest way,
We'll need to get a table.
I think that's the easiest
way.
Or
you can bring yours back and forth.
Yeah. Or you have the one. You have the one. Is it here? Does it stay here?
It's our merch table, so it stays over at Foz's.
Yeah.
But I can get it on those $20 or whatever,
Yeah. Okay, maybe we'll have to figure that out. Episode 100 is coming up. We'll do it all then.
We store it right in that closet there, too.
That's true. Your new place has a lot more space.
Yes, it does.
All right.
Let's talk about this lyrics prompter.
All right, yeah. We've been working on
and the DIY ego boxes as well.
Yes, yeah. Might as well add that into it too. So yeah, I work at a fab shop, and Dallas has had this idea for a long time with playing, all these songs all the time. Is a huge strain to remember all the lyrics. Obviously, Axl uses a prompter, teleprompter, and everything. We're gonna make a teleprompter for Goliath, essentially. Or is it for everybody? Is it for Goliath? Because you guys sing too, but I guess it's not nearly necessary for you. You would use it maybe for anything like Prince stuff.
Unlikely. I sing a very little bit, and I'm thinking of this just now. One of my 2020 resolutions is going to be to learn my lyrics better, so I don't need to rely on that stuff.
Yeah, especially
because I have less of them. I don't have I have like 6 songs. Come on, dude. You can't learn 6 songs.
Exactly.
It's hard to understand. He's got 60.
Yeah, exactly.
And now more than that, he's got probably close to 100.
Right.
With all the gun stuff. So. I mean, and a lot of them have a lot of words.
Of course,
so I mean,
of course.
I
Even
totally
we
get
just
that.
said like
but-
Axl has his own teleprompter because of his own, his own songs that he wrote.
Sure,
so it happens. It's what's part of
But
it.
see,
anyways.
what people don't understand is just because you have a teleprompter doesn't mean you don't know it.
No, it's just
But there's no feeling like here comes the verse. What's the first word again?
Right.
Even though you've sang it 100 times perfectly by memory,
It happens.
That one time you look out
Blank.
and see someone in the crowd punch someone else,
Right.
And your brain goes there, and
you
then you're
blank
like,
the
oh
first
shit, here,
word.
verse 2.
Yeah.
What's the word? And then you look over real quick and get it, and then you're good. Nobody knows it happened.
Exactly.
But if you don't have it, you stumble.
Yeah, exactly. And it's more noticeable.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
Because
good.
right now he uses that iPad for the cover gigs,
Right,
and
right.
he tosses it over to me sometimes for my stuff.
Yep.
And most of the time I don't look at it.
Right.
But if I need it, it's there.
Yep. That's what it's for. It's a good backup. And we've been looking at them. I mean, there's some very simple shape. There's a tilted back box. I mean, if you imagine like a
Looks
floor
like a wedge
monitor.
monitor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a floor monitor. So it's just a teleprompter. And then Dallas went ahead and got the Raspberry Pi, and he's going to tell you a little bit about that because he's been programming it. And, it's basically a mini computer. So,
It's the size of a credit card.
right. It's
It is-
super small.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
If you get just like the motherboard part, like the core part of it, the actual computer part,
Right.
that's like $40, I
Right.
think. I got the kit, so it was $100.
What comes with a keyboard and mouse?
No, that was separate. It
Okay.
comes with like the HDMI cable, the power switch,
okay.
the adapters, the
Okay.
a case. You have to have a
nice,
case. So
nice.
that's that little black case it's sitting
Right.
in.
Okay. So you build
The case has a fan in it to
Right.
keep it cool. It came with 3 heat sinks to keep it cool.
Nice.
Because I figured that's going to be a big issue.
Yeah.
Sitting in a box on stage,
stage.
just
Totally.
getting hot. So,
Yep.
and the Raspberry Pis, people have said they're prone to kind of overheating anyway.
Right.
But I've had this running all yesterday and all today and had no issues. And I've been internet copy pasting, creating stuff on it, and
Awesome.
it's not going to be doing anywhere near that workload.
Right.
live.
Right.
So,
Perfect. It's literally just going to show a text file, and he's got it to where
it's literally holding a PDF, and then I inverted the colors, so it's white text on a black background.
Right.
And you go full screen with it, and then you just pedal with a USB pedal. You go next and back.
Yeah. Do you have the pedal yet, or are you waiting on it to come in?
It's coming in, but I ordered everything we need.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man! I can't wait.
Everything's going to live in the back of the box with Velcro.
Yeah.
And we'll come up with a good way to do that. Matt's going to put, we have a USB hub.
Yep.
And we're going to install that into the side of the box. You can plug it in straight to the side without having to open it up.
Exactly.
Because you have to plug in the foot pedal.
Yeah. So my biggest goal for this thing is just to be nice and lightweight and clean looking. Just super.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's gonna be. You want
If we
to
make
be
it
not
look
to
anything
stand
like
out.
that, guys, I'll be very happy.
Exactly. That's
I
what
love
that's
the Duratex coating too. That really makes it
Well, that's why
look
we're
like
going to
it's
go with
supposed
wood
to be
skin.
there,
We're going to go with the wood skin, and then
Yeah.
we can go over it with that Duratex. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's going to be really tough. It's almost like a rhino liner, imagine, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not for bed lining. Obviously, that rhino lining would be stick to metal. So that would be,
That's considerably more expensive, I would.
I don't know. I mean, how much you'd need is you'd need very little of it, but the you're going to have to buy a kit. That's the problem. It comes with a whole kit.
Oh, here's black bed liner for $25.
Oh, there you go.
Herculiner.
Herculiner.
Do you think that would stick to metal?
Maybe.
Do you think
I
the
kinda
metal
am-
option, or you like the
I'm
other way
leaning
just for
towards the wood
weight?
skin and a metal frame, to be
5
honest.
times thicker. Oh, polyurethane. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I'm leaning towards a metal frame and a aluminum frame, and then we'll go wood skin. But yeah, I think that's going to be cool because it'll be super lightweight, really sturdy. I mean,
So you're thinking it's literally like a foundation of a house. That'll be metal. And then the drywall, so to speak, quotes, would be wood.
exactly skinning it with
right,
wood.
right.
Exactly. Yep.
What kind of wood are you thinking? I mean, plywood's notoriously really heavy.
Yeah, it's gonna be thin plywood. It's like
just real
or I mean maybe even veneer. I have to look and see what we got as options.
You have stuff at your shop?
I don't know. Not really in wood. No, we
what I
deal
was
with
thinking,
mainly
yeah.
metal, but I'll just go to Lowe's. It won't take much wood at all. It's for how small it is. I mean, yeah. I mean, for people listening, it's just like a wedge monitor size, but it's a little taller
Yeah.
and skinnier, so you can actually like read the lyrics.
What do you think
all
an
in one
ETA on
page.
that would be? Because I'd like to have it with enough time for him to be able to test it out and get used to it.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to probably pretty close with it by the end of the week if
nice.
as much time as I think I'm going to have. We have a lot of show prep
Pretty
to do.
slow week.
But I'm going to, and we're show prepping for Prep and Bury, the show this weekend. So we'll have a little bit of that, but it really, because I'm going to do it during my work time. Luckily we have a slow shop right now, and then we can
Right.
just kind of work on little projects on the side here. And we'll get other stuff done too, but there'll be time. Which is nice. And, I'll measure things out here and there on my break time, figure it out, get all the things ready, and then just do the welding on my break, or whatever,
Yeah,
whatever I got to
yeah.
do. It won't be a problem.
I just thought of
And
a
then-
couple more things about the Raspberry Pi to talk about.
Okay.
The hard drive, how most computers have either a solid state or a regular fan one. I don't know,
Right,
whatever.
right.
Anyway, this one is a micro SD card. That's
Oh.
the hard drive. So you can see
Nice. So
that
it's just
20
what is
gigabyte
it?
free.
Oh, 20 gigs. Okay, cool. Oh, total 26 gigs.
Yeah, well, it says the SD card says it's a 36 gigabyte card, but it's really a terabyte. And they partition it for other uses later if you need to use it somewhere else. But at least the one that came with mine did. I went with a company called CanaKit, CANA.
Okay.
And so the operating system, I was curious about this. Does it use Windows? What does it do?
Right.
It's got its own operating system. Right. It's called Raspbian.
It's a Android, right?
It's based off Linux.
Okay.
But so this is like your start menu. So it's good for programming. It's good for they advertise it as like it's good for like kids or students to learn programming.
Right.
But it's got its whole Office suite.
Nice.
So I made everything in Writer, which is basically Word.
Sure.
You can have internet, sound, video, everything's right there.
Wow. What's the graphics?
It's so simple.
Is that like a Microsoft Paint type thing? That graphics app?
I don't know. Let's open it up and see.
Yeah, it looks like a Paint program.
Maybe. That? Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Oh, image
viewer. Okay.
It's probably just like a
Yeah.
Preview on Mac.
Maybe a little bit of editing tool there, but not much. Yeah. That's cool, man. Super useful for doing some kind of small computing. Like you don't need a full computer to show lyrics.
I could really see this going to like a corporate business where they have to buy, 350 desktops for all their employees.
Oh yeah.
You would save so much money doing this.
Yes. And you could probably have several of them set up for each person. So one's crunching something or whatever it's doing. And I don't even know how much crunching you could do with these, but
they're not super powerful. Obviously, they're very small, but I knew we needed something very, very simple.
I mean, our cell phones are pretty damn powerful and they're small. So, I mean, there's a lot of capability.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just about the price. I think they just don't put the highest,
I was just blown away by the size more than anything.
Absolutely.
It fits in the palm of your hand.
It's going to be perfect for that monitor. So then the other thing we're going to do on top of this, because we've been talking about, is really cool to have, as a rock band, some ego boxes to jump up onto and play guitar solo or whatever. If the singer wants to get up there and just like look out of the crowd, that kind of stuff, just more entertaining and stuff like that. Super simple. I'm going to make some foldable aluminum ego boxes, something like really
I just thought of this. Could you make one that kind of is the same height as the lyric prompter so we can kind of put it almost with it?
Like over top of it?
Kind of.
Eventually, like just enough clearance to clear it?
Like if this is the monitor, like the box would be like here.
Up in front of it, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you can kind of step on.
Maybe. We'll have to look
like Axel has on his, I think. He has
I'm going to make the lyric prompter first because I think the ego boxes are going to be simpler. We'll get the lyric prompter.
Yeah. Oh, the ego boxes are going to be super
They're going to be
easy.
super simple.
I could probably do it. I don't know shit.
Right. Well, you could
like
build a box. You just want it to look nice and square, obviously.
So he's got the two
prompters. They standing basically over.
Man, this is where it'd be awesome to show you guys what we're looking at.
Yeah, exactly. This is where video is really going to come in handy.
So you're going to be able to
scanning through Guns N' Roses stage setup, basically, and Axel standing on top of two teleprompters. See, he maybe just has a bridge across two teleprompters.
I think that's what it does. I don't even know that he has the bridge. I think he just straddles
standing on both of them.
I think he just straddles it.
Maybe. Yeah, it looks like that. He's got his wide
what you're
stance.
seeing there, that line, that's the drum
horns
riser.
and the horns right there. See those? Those are right there in front.
Horns?
Aren't those horns right there below him?
Oh, those are the drums.
Are they drums? They look. I'm looking down the barrel. of horns.
I know what that is. That's the train.
Night train horns.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there they are. That's weird, dude.
It's a weird setup, huh? It's cool though, man. They're pros. They've been doing this for a fucking long time.
Well, they have the ability to hire like production managers who say, "All right, we're gonna have ramps that
Yeah,
exactly.
And
they've done all
that.
That's
That's what Gary does over there. He did for Three Doors Down. He was their tour.
That's
manager.
what you could be really good
at. That's what I could do. I could do that for sure. I hope to be playing.
Because anybody can be like, I want to have a ramp, and then it takes a different kind of person to be like, all right, cool. Here's what we do.
Here's what we need to do. Right. Exactly.
It's or say like, well, that's not a good idea because X, Y, and Z.
Right. And luckily, because of my job, and always my job has been not only like just a button pusher or anything like that. I've always been in a position where I have to problem solve and come up with ways to make it work. That has I think been my biggest contributor to being able to do a lot of things DIY and make things happen. So I worked on that muscle, It's a muscle. It's, okay, we need this done. How are we going to get it done? You think about it, you come up with lots of ideas, throw bad ideas away, start from the top.
I love that kind of problem solving brain. And I never dealt with that kind of problem solving brain in like the physical world so much, but if it comes to like Photoshop, Pro Tools, that kind of stuff, I'm real good at being like, okay, we want to do this. How can we do that? Okay, here's 3 or 4 different ways. We'll see which one works the best.
There's it's that old saying. It's like there's a million ways to skin a cat or whatever. It's like, as long as you're getting the job done, I
wonder where that saying comes from.
Yeah, it's a terrible saying, really. If you think about it, this picture of a fucking skinless cat. No.
Oh, dude.
Anyway,
have you seen the hairless bear?
The hairless bear?
Have you seen this thing?
I have not seen.
This is the thing of nightmares, dude.
What?
Look at this thing.
It looks like a pit. Oh my God.
It looks like it's not on this planet.
It looks like oh my God. What is it called? The hairless bear?
No, it's just a bear with no hair.
Okay.
It's like a normal bear. It just doesn't have hair.
It looks like a totally different animal.
Look at this thing, dude. I mean, you guys Google right now, hairless bear.
Yeah, I guess a fluff of the bear makes up a lot of it.
See, you only see this one. So I think it's just one bear that
it looks like a rhinoceros.
They maybe had to shave or something.
No, mixed with a rat, like a giant rat rhinoceros.
But then you think about how strong and like killer bears are. You know?
Oh yeah,
like,
that motherfucker would rip you apart.
Look at this. Look at his freaking claws, dude.
Oh man.
These things like kill moose.
His skin is gross. Who shaved that bear? That's what I want to know.
If I had to guess, I don't know, but it was probably because of some health thing and
sedated. I bet.
Yeah,
not alive.
Come over here,
not
bud.
awake.
I follow this guy on Instagram. I follow this guy on Instagram. Don't remember his name. He literally just hangs out with wild lions.
Oh yeah.
You follow him?
Black Jaguar. Is that what it was? There's this black jaguar. In other countries, it's not necessarily so as illegal or as
no. He doesn't own them as pets. He hangs out with them in their habitat
in the wild.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
And on like preserves and stuff as well. But
right,
he's literally like playing hide and go seek with a lion, and like the lion tackles him.
Oh, it comes from behind him, and he's like he doesn't think I see him.
Yeah, that's him. That's the guy.
I know what you're talking about.
Follow that guy.
I do.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's crazy. He's like literally like snuggling with these lions, and it's just like
it's crazy, man. People are a lot more fearless about that kind of stuff than I am. I would not be hanging out with lions unless I raised it as a baby. Like, you know what? That might be the big thing is raising them as small cubs.
Even so, they have instincts.
Yeah,
or even if they're not trying to hurt you and they just paw your face,
rip your face apart. Right?
They accidentally tear your head off.
Accidentally need reconstruction surgery.
Yeah, you might be in some trouble.
Yeah,
I don't like animals that much. I'm like,
big animals. What's that movie that Joe Rogan talked about? It is a movie about animals. Like it's just basically this lady that lived with all these animals. It's like little blonde like woman, you know, and she lived with all these animals, these lions, tigers. They're like in the pool. They're just hanging out at the house, laying on the couches and stuff, dude. It's crazy. And what was it called? It's called like Teeth or Wild. Maybe it was called like Wild or something like that. I can't remember.
Teeth is the vagina one.
Vagina one?
Yeah, where the vagina has teeth.
Oh, I do not remember that movie.
I didn't see it.
That sounds like something of nightmares.
I think it was. I think it was like kind of a jokey horror movie.
I'll never fucking sleep again, bro.
Yeah.
What was it called? It's called like Wild or In the Wild or something like that. I'm gonna see. Beast or Wild Beast or something. Man, I forget what it was. Old movie, really old black and white movie. But anyway, it's like apparently the most deaths ever on any set of a movie ever made.
Oh, I remember
what was it called? Roar, maybe? Roar
sounds right.
That sounds right. Might be Roar. Anyway, old movie, black and white, and just crazy animals that they just did all these. There would be stunts, you know, like I would imagine. Like they have animal handlers all around to make sure things aren't going to go wrong. They just like crazy, risky stunts.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that now.
Yeah. Anyways.
So the lyric prompter, though, can you take pictures of your progress so we can kind of put it together?
Of course, yeah. You want me to post them on Instagram?
Sure.
Maybe we'll get some plans, show what's going on. I mean, we've seen some other people do this, so we have a kind of idea of what's been done. And
that guy, lyricsprompter.com, I think.
Yes, and he sells plans and stuff.
I don't think he sells plans. He sells his thing that he makes.
Oh, he sells the actual. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, he's got a really nice design. We're gonna
so shout out to him.
Piggyback that a little bit, but I'm gonna try. My big goal is, I think his is probably pretty heavy. I'm gonna try and shed 10 pounds off of his design.
We have a bigger monitor too than his.
Oh, okay.
His is 24. Ours is 27.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna turn on that fan again.
Going bigger. Bigger is better. Goliath's eyes are not as good as they used to be, you guys. We'll have to have a zoom pedal as well so we can zoom in on the lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So the three-way pedal, it is a three-way pedal. So it has a forward, back, and then a middle one that I don't know what does.
Zoom in. But then it would have to zoom in and then zoom out.
Yeah,
that's all it would do. Toggle back like from
big,
like
little.
150 to 100 or something like that.
I don't know. No idea what the middle one does.
That could be cool. Well, I don't know. You probably have to program it, right? Or set it up, route it.
Probably.
Some way.
It probably defaults to forward and back on the outside.
Maybe.
So you can plug it right in, ready to go. That's what I'm thinking.
Right. There's that wonderful
the fan's going to be tinkling a little bit in the background, but you guys probably can't hear it after the noise gates are put on. So
yeah, it's better than hearing us panting.
Just for 5 hours. Longest podcast ever, just no talking.
Yeah.
So that wraps it for the lyric prompter. We'll keep you guys posted on that. Hopefully we have good progress next week when we can reconvene.
Yeah, Ego Box is our second priority. I think they're not my number one. I want to get that lyric prompter done. It's going to be a little bit more of a project. I think the electronics and all that. So we'll get it to you ASAP.
Yep.
You could test it out.
I have to get my wireless system back in operation because it's kind of been on. No, I think it still works. I just haven't had it. I haven't been using it. So
I remember when
I
it
have
went
three
out on
remotes.
US.
One of them I broke,
Oh, okay.
so that sucks. It's like a $300 remote, like metal, you know, real nice.
Yeah.
Two others I have are fine, and I'm mostly only going to be using two guitars, so
Should be fine.
thinking I should be all right.
Yeah. Well, it's stuff's easily expandable, you know, once you have the.
I set them up. I
receiver.
have the pouches
Yep.
attached to the slash strap
Yep.
on both Les Pauls.
Nice.
So I just have to like get in there and test everything out, which I
Right,
haven't been
right.
doing.
Yep. Well, there's time for that. Yeah, till February.
Yeah, I got to actually do it though.
Yep.
Maybe I'll try some of that today.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's take a little bit of time here, maybe with the rest of the show.
You want to look back a little bit?
Let's talk about, we had a weekend review. Let's do a year in review. Let's
Right.
talk about our favorite moments, our favorite guests. We didn't really have that many guests. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And then let's wrap the show up by talking about 2020 and what we want to do in 2020.
Yeah. You want to start?
I'll let you lead the way.
All right, I'll lead the way. So, biggest thing, one of the things we just talked about before the show started was that we had a lot less guests this year, which was good. It was intentional. We want the show to be more of us and what we can offer for you guys, obviously, and then bringing in people who could basically just corroborate what we're talking about, essentially, and say, "Yep, these guys know what they're talking about." Like, I think that's more valuable to you guys as far as like instead of having interviews where we break down everybody's career every time, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I love that. That's one of the main things that attracted me to this original podcast was that we get to look into, these people who are on the road all the time or doing what they do all the time. Right. So that's one of the greatest things about the show, but we are now in this ourselves in a big way, I think. And, doing our own thing. And now we've gotten insight from all these people and we can do our own stuff and more experimental, thought experiments. You know what I mean? Like, how are we getting to these conclusions? How are we going to be better? How are we going to, we're more on the edge, I think.
Right. As well as letting kind of our personalities take the show over instead of
right.
just a bunch of guests.
Yeah, what are you talking about? We don't have any personalities.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I threw mine away a long time ago, got in the way.
So our first guest of the year was Machine.
Yes.
And that was like
Huge.
or really early, January 14th, I think.
I love that because he's done so much things that I love and also mixed the LA Maybe and it was awesome to just talk about all that. So that
Lamb
was
of
really
God,
cool.
Crowbot, Clutch, 4 Year
Bronx.
Strong.
The Bronx.
He did the Bronx
dude.
as well?
The Bronx singles he told us on the show. I thought he did that whole third record, but it turns out he just did the singles on that record.
Okay.
Which sound amazing. They're like some of the best ones. So
Is the record better than the singles or the singles better than the record or how did that work?
I never noticed before. So I think I'd be lying if I said that the singles are better than the
Right,
record because
right.
I never noticed, until we knew. So
Okay. And then shortly after that, just a few episodes later, we had Andy Wood, who is just
Shredder.
one of the best guitar players around.
Unbelievable.
And one of the nicest guys to boot, man. He was so cool and nice to us.
Yep.
And he won the Guitar Center guitar tournament, like the national one.
Right.
At one year. I don't know which one.
Yeah, I forget.
But that's
what year,
kind of what
but
put
I
him on the
remember
map.
that.
But
Yep.
he took that and ran with it. But he's just an absolutely phenomenal player. Really influenced by country, so he does a lot of mandolin playing, a lot of chicken picking and stuff. But don't let that fool you because he can straight up shred.
Yeah.
And his music's really good. Check his music out.
Yeah, of course.
After that, we had Angel Vivaldi, who I actually overlooked earlier.
Yeah.
Just because I missed him. He's over here on the right side of the page.
Yeah. And we
One of my favorites, another guitar virtuoso, and another guy that was so nice because we had been trying to sort out a time to do the interview, and
Yes.
communication fell apart because he went on tour with Nita Strauss.
Right.
That was right.
Understandable. Yes.
And then I thought, okay, well that's that. We'll never hear from him again.
Exactly.
And sure enough, 3 months later, he emails me and said, "Hey man, I'm back. Haven't forgot about you. Let's do it."
cool.
And
yeah,
I
that was
love
really
that.
cool.
I thought that was so cool.
Yes, we were gonna get an in-person interview potentially. We were gonna actually make the trip down there, but that fell through.
Atlanta, yeah.
that fell through unfortunately. But I was really glad to have him on. That was a great talk. We talked practice, inspiration, and creativity, and business. A lot of stuff like that because he's a solo artist, doing it all on his own.
Yeah.
And then we had Kevin Rinkin on, which is awesome, from Buck Cherry, the new
Buck
guitar
Cherry
player.
and your favorite American Pearl.
Yes,
Which I didn't know, but you and Kyle know really well.
exactly. So
That was kind of his thing, you said, right? That was kind of his almost like solo project.
It was, yeah. And I guess he moved out to LA, started that band. We talked about it on the show. You should definitely go back and listen to episode 60 and find out about that.
Kevin Rinkin. By the way, Angel was 59. I'll run you through these real quick.
Yeah.
Andy was 51. And
Yes.
Machine was 47.
Exactly. So Machine was early in the year. I think that was the second week in the year.
But back to Rinkin, he's the third person on Buck Cherry to be on this podcast.
Exactly. We've really
So
covered the Buck Cherry gambit. But all those guys,
We have
Buck
free
Cherry
tickets to
has
Buck Cherry when we want them.
Yeah, absolutely. Buck Cherry, a great example of a band with great players. I love
Great
that.
players and a really good kind of rock vibe,
Absolutely.
Really keeping it
rock
alive.
Yeah.
And they have been since, forever.
Yep.
Then we had my band, the LA Maybe, on episode 75.
That was a fun episode. We had
and that
everybody
was
on.
to promote the release of the EP, or
Yes.
maybe the single, or something. I forget. Let me see the date. I'll be able to tell you.
I believe it was the EP came
August
out.
5th. So that was to promote the release of She's Reckless, because
okay.
She's Reckless came out August 2nd.
Oh, okay, cool. So She's Reckless was the second
So,
single, right?
well, that's when that came out. So we would have just gotten back from Atlanta,
right.
I think.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Very cool.
anyway.
that was a good goofy show.
Yeah,
Fun.
yeah.
It was
And
fun.
generally goof off.
Yeah,
is
when
what
you
I wrote there.
have 5 people in the room,
It's too many people. You gotta have less
plus
people.
me, right?
Yeah. So it devolves pretty quickly into
That's
just
right, that's right.
inside jokes and people talking
Dude,
over each other. But it's
How
fun.
about the Ari Herstand episode 85?
Yep.
That was a cool. I was blown away. That
Probably the highlight of the year for me.
me too. That because we've read his book. We know how inspiring he can be. I really got inspired. When
And then I told him this, and I'll tell you guys this again. You have to read his book, and the reason you have to read it, it's called "How to Make It in the New Music Business." Get the second edition.
yes, the new
just came out in
version is
November.
updated.
The reason you have to read it is because a lot of music industry books will tell you kind of what's what. He tells you how. And I love that. You get inspired reading it because he's
Yes.
literally telling you, hey, just do this, just do this, just do
Right.
this.
Write these things
Download
down.
this app,
Right.
do this,
Right.
check this website out, all this stuff.
There's so much information.
And it really helps you just to,
Yeah, if you're an independent musician, I can't that. There's no other book that I could recommend more. I don't think.
no other.
As an
I've read a lot of
independent-
them, and his is the best. Now, here's how
gotta be.
cool Ari is. He sent me a signed copy of the book.
Yeah.
So I just checked my mail one day. I'm like, what is this from? And then I said Ari's Take, and I was like, is this the book?
Hell yeah.
Open
Because
it
you
up.
bought the digital version, correct?
I
you
thought he
pre-ordered
just,
it.
Yeah. I thought he just sent me the book, and then I opened it up, and it had a little inscription in there. He signed it. I thought that was awesome.
That is
what
awesome.
a cool stand-up dude.
Yes.
And that was the last interview we did.
Yeah, that was so we very few interviews this year. What was that, 5 or 6 if you
5 or
count the
6,
LA
yeah.
Maybe? So yeah, and that was the intention, right? We wanted to back up and really craft the show like we're doing right now. The show that is me and you, and also our friends that come on and talk because
Right.
we love.
We don't
having-
count them as guests. We count them as guest co-hosts.
right co-hosts exactly. So that they come on and talk with us, as if they are on the show all the time, basically.
You know who we did have on that was that should maybe be counted as a guest? We had Matt Cullen on.
Yeah, where is he at? He was episode 83.
83. I didn't have a picture of him. That was the problem.
That's
I
the
should have put a
problem.
picture on it. Why didn't I do that?
because he was a great talk too about networking, personal skills, and making your dreams reality. I really liked just his whole outlook on the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Matt's a really well-spoken, well-prepared guy who's, maybe the only word I could think to describe him would be really genuine.
Yes.
And
That's
just,
not the only
and
word.
just
You could describe a lot of
integrity,
with a lot of words, but yes, genuine is a really good word to describe him. And integrity.
He looks you in the eye,
honest.
and when you're talking to him, you see that he's really listening.
Yes. Yeah. And we had him in person, which is nice to actually talk to him in person.
Right. And he showed up with notes written, prepared.
Of course, and he's on episode 100. He'll be a part of that too. So
Yeah, so,
be ready to hear from him
exactly.
more. And also what his part as musically contributed was amazing. So
Right.
it's going to be awesome.
So that probably wraps up all the guests. We had a lot of guest co-hosts. We had David last week. We
Yep.
had Drew a couple different times, Kyle a couple different times,
Rasan. Yeah. We had a good year, man, as far as getting all our friends on, man. We want to do more. I liked when we talked about Steven Adler's books. We got really deep into some
gun stuff.
the lists. Remember we started doing the list? I want to do more of those
That's coming
next
back
year.
for sure.
Definitely. We did the Motley Crue breakdown of the movie and all that.
We talked about the Steel Panther Motley Crue beef.
Yep,
I lost my respect for Motley Crue.
Yep.
Lots of Motley Crue.
Yep. It was a big Motley Crue year. I mean, they did retire and decide they were coming back this year. So
All in a year.
I don't think it was a year. I think
Yeah, it was
maybe
like
it's over
2
2
years,
years. Yeah. But it's pretty quick.
Still not very long in the
Not
scheme
very
of
long.
things.
Not long enough to be
In
justifiable.
2017, Motley Crue retired forever. In 2019, they came back. Okay,
That's the way the history book will be written.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for
They're
them.
probably not even going to remember that because
Maybe
it
it's
so
just like
quick,
flows right into it,
And again, I'll say it's because of the contract. It's because they made such a big deal. If they had just said we're done and then came back, whatever, fine.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
band has done that.
Yeah.
But they made such a big deal out of being like everybody bullshits you and says they're coming back.
The Mick Mars thing.
We're not
the
doing
Mick
it.
Mars
Like-
thing when he went on that metal show and said, if we come back, we'll give the tickets away. Yeah, right.
And then Styx called him up on it. Like,
yeah,
come on,
exactly.
dude. Like,
Exactly. I love that they had the balls to do it. But I guess since their beef is pretty
What a
hot and
joke.
heavy over that, the fact that they make fun of Vince Neil is what I guess the beef stems from. They don't like that. We're the only one allowed to make fun of Vince Neil around here.
We're on.
Totally.
So funny. And then that video started circulating before you spend $300 on your Motley Crue tickets. Remember, this is what you're getting.
I can't believe how many people keep telling me about that. I still get that thing sent to me. I'm just like, yeah, I know. Because I'm a Motley Crue fan. I guess people just want to Still like Motley Crue? Yeah, I know what it is. I've seen it. I know what it is. Thank you.
Yeah. They've been bad since the 80s.
Like, I told you they weren't any good.
Yeah. Everybody knows he's bad now, but Foz showed me videos in the 80s, like in their heyday, where they
wasn't
sucked.
really that good, man.
Like,
He's never really a great
so
live
he was
guy.
never really good.
Nope. Maybe early, but
I think he was only really good on the record, and I still don't know how they got that out of him.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard him replicate that live
first
at all.
record, that Too Fast for Love record, man, with the high note that he screams. I don't know, man. I don't see how Vince did it. It's just long and super high note.
Really? Is it on the song?
It's on. It's on.
I don't know that EP
Not the
very well.
song, but it's on.
Shout of the Devil was right after that, right?
That was the next one.
And then they had a Theater of Pain. Then they got sober and did Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah. It seems like, and Girls is in there somewhere too.
Yeah, you're
before
right.
Dr. Feelgood. Dr.
That's gotta
Feelgood
be
was the one
third
they
then.
did with
Bob Rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the big one.
And it's to be fair, a phenomenal album front to back.
Oh yeah, it's
The
beautiful.
only song that wasn't a single was the first one, and that's because it was an intro.
Right.
Remember, it's
it was
like
Tinseltown TNT.
Yeah, it's like a minute long
Exactly.
little intro thing. Every other song on there was a single.
Yep.
And should be. They were all really, really good.
I love Bob Rock, everything he does. If you really want to kind of see what he's about, a really good way to see that is the whole documentation of the Black Album is awesome because he is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Like, and Metallica's amazing themselves, obviously, but what he did for them in that album, it shows you what
Really shows you what a producer does. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's 100%.
A lot of people wonder what a producer does. He's not the guy that pushes the buttons. That's the engineer.
that's the engineer.
Now, a lot of times he can.
He knows the equipment. The engineer knows the equipment, hopefully better than the producer, but the producer knows how the equipment works.
A lot of producers came from an engineering background,
Exactly.
though, more
They
so
start-
than a musical background,
Exactly.
although they can
Start
come from
there.
either one. But the producer, think of them as like the director
Exactly.
of a movie.
Exactly. They're telling who to be where, what to do, what you're supposed to be doing here, how to make this part more entertaining, whatever. Like they're just generally trying to make the song the best it can be.
Right.
And
Double
they're-
this chorus, add this,
They have
cut
a
this,
vision.
this is too long. you
Right.
don't
They have
need
a
that.
vision that they see potentially. And
I think you
hopefully
should
it's-
sing more here, James.
Right, exactly.
That kind of stuff.
And exactly like the attack on how he's singing. It's not just going to let him sing it and then let it go. He's going to say, okay, this one you didn't match that tonality or whatever. You need to match
What
that.
if you tried hitting this note?
Exactly,
Just stuff like
exactly.
that.
So-
And depending on the producer, they'll be really overbearing.
Exactly.
And they'll say, you have to do this or I'm walking.
Exactly.
Or they'll be like Mike Klink with Guns N' Roses and be like, look, you guys know what you want. I'm just going to kind of hit the buttons.
Sure,
and I'm going to capture it.
There's
you know?
different relationships, and you know why they get pissed off. I mean, it's almost like you don't respect their opinion. Just like, all right, you hired me to record this record for you guys, like, and now you're not going to take any of my suggestions.
Depends on if you are like GNR and want a really hands-off producer.
Right.
Just let us do what we want,
Right.
and you just make sure it sounds good. Or if you want a really hands-on producer, like I don't know, someone else who is hands-on, and you want them to really
Machine's
shape.
pretty hands-on. I bet Machine's a hands-on.
I feel like he's
producer.
kind of in the middle.
Is he somewhere like
Yeah.
let the artist do his
Any
thing? but
producer's
also-
any producer's going to have things to say.
exactly. But it's a
Like-
spectrum. It depends on what you want. Like you
And
said, like,
really hands-on producers, like really hands-on, will basically like write the song.
right? Sure.
They might get acoustic guitar and a vocal, and they'll be like, "All right, we're gonna have this cool piano hook. We're gonna have
Right.
violins come in here. I'm gonna get this guy for drums, this guy for bass, this guy for guitar.
Yes.
I'm gonna call Eddie Van Halen. He's gonna come and do the solo, like that
Totally.
kind of stuff. Like that's
Totally.
Quincy Jones style,
Right, exactly.
For
and
Michael
it's probably
Jackson.
just depends on what you need, too. Like if you already have a song that's it's already a good song and it's produced, it's got all the pieces you need.
Yeah.
I mean, they just need to really put the touches on it with the recording itself
Right.
and make sure that it doesn't ruin the song in the recording.
And a lot of people hire producers because producers have a history of hits.
Right.
Like, hey, I've produced, Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, this, that, and the other. Like, if you work with me, you're gonna get some success.
Exactly. And that's true in a lot of ways because of the notoriety of the producer can actually
can
drive
help.
a song.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For example, like we really wanted to work with Jay Rustin.
Right, of course, yeah. Steel Panther and also
We inquired about his rates.
Cult.
He's out of our price
Jay
range
Rustin
right now.
did the
but-
Cult, am I correct on that? or
Dude,
not?
Jay Rustin has
done
done
a lot of things.
freaking everything. Let me look him up while you.
Most notably by me, he did Steel Panther. So
That's what that's how I found him. 'Cause
Sour,
all right, let's go through here. You
Metallica,
call him out.
He did the Big Four.
Amon Amarth,
Amarth.
Anthrax, Meatloaf.
Yep. Huge. All these huge records.
He did this Dio
The
record.
Dio
that sounds
record. That was
phenomenal.
awesome. The one
Sons
with
of
the-
Apollo.
It's a tribute record. This Is Your Life.
It's a good record.
Yeah, really good record. All the bands came together. Oh,
He did all
Winery
the
Dogs,
Winery
dude.
Dogs.
Come on.
All of Steel
Steel
Panther.
Panther. Pop Evil. Bowling for Soup.
Every
Power
album on here
5000,
I
dude.
recognize.
These all these
Theory of a Dead Man. He's
Adrenaline
basically-
Mob, dude.
he's-
Adrenaline Mob.
He's basically the modern rock guy.
He is the modern rock guy. He would be the quintessential producer to work with, I think, if you're trying to make a rock record, a modern rock record.
Yeah.
He's amazing. And it sounds, everything you hear sounds amazing.
Yeah,
man.
and the reason I found out about him was because I loved the way Steel Panther's drums specifically sound with the whole record.
I remember you telling me
and
that.
I was just digging around like, who produced this stuff, and I found him, and he's the guy.
And he seems really awesome to work with because they show all kinds of in studio footage, and he's just part of the gang. He's having a blast with them, you know.
Right.
He seems really cool.
Now he's a good example of an actual producer. He doesn't own a studio.
Right.
At
He
least
goes into
I'm
a
sure he has
studio.
something, but it's not a place you're going to go record your drums at.
Professional, right.
So you pay him his producer fee, and then you are responsible for finding the studio that you're going to work in.
Right.
Covering travel costs if there's any, I'm sure.
Sure.
He's in LA, so you know he has studios like, hey, I usually work in this one, you
Right.
know, which would make the most sense because he knows how to
knows
make
the
stuff
equipment,
go. You know,
knows
hey,
that-
I know
right,
they have
knows
this
the room,
preamp that I really
knows
like.
the
you know?
room,
Yeah.
knows everything. You know, it's a lot of
Yeah, he knows like, oh, I set the drums here for Steel Panther and
Yeah.
they sounded big, you know?
Right.
That kind of stuff. So, there's so much to it. And I feel like we've talked about it before. But anyway, that was,
Jay
kind of-
Rustin, we should try and get on the show.
I don't think that's out of reach at all.
I don't think so. We
One
should
thing I
totally-
really wanted to talk about and maybe think out with you here in real time on air is, I'm thinking we're going to put all of the interviews behind our Patreon page.
Yes, we talked about it, and I like it. Let's air it out for a second here. I think that content is worth Patreon. I think it's
Right.
probably like something
And-
that is harder to get to. You can't just reach out to these people and talk.
And
to
I
people.
think because it's harder for us to make it happen.
Yes.
And we've given out enough of them for free that I feel like people could go get that information if they wanted.
Yeah, so the first 100 episodes, all the interviews in there will be available, right? We're not going to move those to Patreon.
Right.
But from here on out to here,
If you hit a certain level of Patreon tier, we haven't worked out the details yet,
Right,
but if
right.
you hit that certain level, you're going to have access to every interview.
Yeah,
And,
we don't
obviously
want it to
not
be
the ones
very-
that are free, because you can have
Right,
those.
right.
And we're not
And we
going to be taking those away.
yeah.
Those stay.
those will be free.
You have those.
But we don't want it to be very expensive either. It should be a lower tier
I think maybe the $5 to $10 range.
I think
for sure.
so.
Yeah.
I think that, and that's well worth it. And we're going to pick
I think
up,
maybe the second tier.
yeah. I think we should pick up interviews next year in a little bit way, because I know we dropped a lot of them this year, but maybe even more, just a little bit more next year.
I think we should
And
get
do
hard
that,
on it.
and
yeah.
then do that like Patreon
did I just
style.
say?
Hit hard on it.
I said get hard on
Oh,
it.
get hard on it. Get on it.
You ever
no.
say stuff and as it comes out, you're like, nope, that's not it.
Yep. Sometimes the adjectives come too late. They're just so
Gross. But
yeah. So let's do that. I
we
like that
already
idea.
have a couple ideas, and actually, as you talk here, I'm going to make us another.
We should count up how many interviews we have right now, because obviously that's something that, you know, the free amount of interviews is pretty hefty, because the first year we did was mostly interviews. Then the second year, this last year we just got through, was mostly us with a few interviews sprinkled in there. But big
I think
interviews,
it's
big
not
interviews.
unreasonable for us to do one interview a month.
Yeah, 12 interviews, one per month. That's what it is.
Yeah,
12.
and even if we record 12 of them in January and release them out, you know, most of the time they're timeless.
Exactly. And I think too, limiting it to that will keep the guests from being, I don't want to say mediocre, but I just want them to be big guests, big, you know, like worthy guests. How about that? Does that make sense?
One thing I'm thinking of right now for the first time is that kind of eliminates the need, or kind of eliminates someone coming on to promote something. You know what
How
I mean?
so?
Like, hey, if I'm Dallas, I'm going on tour, let me come on your show. Oh, wait, you only release it to your patrons?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So no one's going to hear it but
Which
them?
is not our goal. We're not
That's
here
not our
to
goal.
promote-
We're trying to make evergreen shit.
Exactly. Things that you can use for a long time to come. Like you can go back and listen to what was that they were saying about that when they had what's his face on. What were they saying? And then you can go back and
Right.
say, oh yeah, he had this really good idea about.
So
this.
instead of Jay Rustin talking about the album he's working on to promote it, maybe we just talk about his ideas on producing, his ideas
His
on engineering.
point of view
How do
and-
you get the best performances out of
Yes.
each? Stuff like that. Yeah.
Sure. And there's lots of things. That
What
they
did
can
your
shed
career
light on.
trajectory look
If
like? You know,
just
stuff that people could really benefit from.
You know what you notice too is like when we do these interviews with people like this, we talk to them. It's just a conversation, but somehow like so much information is in it, and it's not a
Always.
conversation where we're just prying, you know, and just it doesn't seem like it, at least. Like we have questions and stuff, but we're not like breaking it down or anything like that, or we're just talking, and then they have tons of things to say because they're in this world every day.
Right.
This world that we kind of want to know more about, the professional side of things. You know, that's where we can't speak on too much. We don't have professional artists that are coming through our roster all the time or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I guess we have both, we cover both ends of the spectrum that way. We are the independent artists that are coming up and coming, you know, trying to make our way. And then we also talk to people who have made it and are, you know, could shed light on what our situation is, can shed light on what all of your situation is as listeners. You know,
Right.
I think that's the idea. At least that's what it's evolving to be.
Yeah. So to kind of compensate for the extra time and a lot of effort that it takes to get those
track
guests,
these
we're going to put
guests,
those
yeah.
behind Patreon to encourage you guys to sign up to Patreon, support the show. And
Yep.
as
And
always, we're going to have free episodes for you every single week, no matter what.
And we talked about potentially now, since we're going to go to video, the Skype calls, we could potentially have our guests on Skype, and they could choose to be on video or choose not to be on video, however, whatever that's comfortable for them. But, there's a lot more we can offer. We can also pull up things while we're in the middle of an interview with somebody and they're talking about their site, their new product they're pushing. Dallas can pull it up for you and show you guys. So the show's going to get a lot more interactive and a lot more fulfilling, hopefully, I guess is the word, more dense with material to,
and that's going to be on YouTube.
I don't know what you call it, huh?
That's
YouTube.
going to be on YouTube, yeah.
Yep.
We may even play with live streaming at some point.
Yeah, I think so. I think
If we feel like there's enough demand where people will be on at the same time we are and they can contribute, like, hey, talk about this. Hey, what do you think about this?
Exactly.
Hey,
more of an open
then we'll
forum
do that.
type live event. Yeah, that'd be fun. And we can maybe just do it for certain things, like certain days. I don't even know can't think of an example, but there's something happening and we're all going to be watching it, so we have a live stream episode, you know what I mean? Something like that, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's ideas like that, man. We're building, we're moving on. We're taking off, as they say.
Yep. So in the last final minutes of podcasting in 2019,
That's true.
let's discuss 2020.
Let's discuss 2020.
A little more than we already have.
Yeah, we kind of have I've graduated to that automatically.
Not talking about the Patreon stuff. Talk about other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact, just the up and onward, man, and obviously we'll do more things like 24-hour EP stuff. I hope.
Concept album has to come out.
Concept album, dude. That's next year for sure, and we're gonna knock that out as early as possible. We don't want to drag that out any longer.
Yeah.
It's already been dragged out, but hopefully with the end of the year kind of wrapping up and all these little projects, me and Dallas are kind of finishing up, somewhat recording processes and all these other things we got going on. The concept album can now take the priority and we can knock it out.
Yep.
It just takes putting the time into it, obviously. We don't ever just put things, together, as fast as we can. That's not the goal.
Right.
It's really to make it something special.
Especially for the concept album, which is a bold undertaking.
It definitely
It's quite the thing. And we
Yeah.
arbitrarily decided on 10 songs, which we didn't have to do.
Yeah.
It's going to end up being 11, I think.
Yeah. It was a,
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's an ambitious goal to think about like a whole concept album that we just Dallas had the stream. Let's make this whole album based on.
I love the idea of the two
But
EPs,
it's-
though. I think that's really fun.
It really is coming together great though. And the two, splitting it up is really cool.
I think that's cooler. I know we got there accidentally.
Yeah.
But I think it's cooler than the one album.
Maybe because it's kind of
Because you
like
can leave them on a cliffhanger, like a season
like
almost.
a
you know?
TV show or something, right?
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
think that's really cool.
Nah, it's gonna be fun, man. And it's coming together so good. Like,
So we
I know you guys
think we
don't know the
decided
progress.
1 6, 1 5.
Right, something like that.
The
That's
extra song we added will be an overture for the second half.
That's what it was. It was gonna be 11 with an extra overture. Yeah. So the I forgot what I was fucking thinking of now. I was gonna say that. So how quickly and easily it's coming together. Actually, like I know you guys don't know the progress of it, but it is like not like it's not that far off. Like it's just it needs the
Right.
It needs
the final 10%.
exactly. It needs to be put together. Is what it really needs to be. And it's
But at least the first EP is basically done.
that's what I'm saying. Like that is like really
Once we do the
close.
vocal tracking and then kind of polish everything up,
I mean,
it's ready.
I know, and we know, like even doing this, the 100th episode recordings, like it kind of shows you like what we can come up with pretty quickly. Like we're pretty good at what we do. And not to pat myself on the back or pat ourselves on the back,
Right.
but I think like that shows like, and when people hear these recordings that we just did, I think it'll show kind of like what we can do in 4 hours.
3.
Yeah, like
the first song was 3 because we started 30 minutes late and we ended 30 minutes early.
yes, we did that. And that you were on a little bit of time crunch, but it still turned out great. And people who we'd never written with, well, you'd written with Matt before.
Kind of.
Kind of
Never
but
really written.
producer side written.
Yeah.
Been more of the producer.
He would come to me with stuff written and then we would go from there.
Right. So this was cool though to watch that happen. I'd never written with Mike Prescott or
Never.
even really jammed. Really, I've sang some stuff while he was like playing some Led Zeppelin and I just started singing it or whatever, like little stuff like that. But playing bass with him, like trying to follow his guitar leads.
Well, let's save all this stuff though.
Oh yeah, good.
We're falling into it because we fall into it so easy because we're so excited.
Yeah,
about
it is exciting. It was.
But we want to talk all about the details and stuff. There's a little teaser for you guys, but we want to dig way into those details with each other first,
On episode 100.
and then with the guys themselves.
Yes.
And then we're going to let you hear the songs, and then that's going to be episode 100, and it's shaping up to be like a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be an event.
it's going to be really cool, man.
Yep.
Any final thoughts as we close out the decade?
Looking forward to next year, man. 2020's got a lot of what do you call it? Up looking. I don't know. What's the word?
Hope.
It's a lot of hopeful ideas. A lot of
I know the word, but I don't know the word.
I can't think of the word right now. It's got a lot of hopeful things coming. It just shows a lot of promise. We'll say that.
Right, there you go. That's
2020 looks good for us. I'm excited for it. It seems like a culmination kind of coming together. So
right, and we're not stopping. So we're gonna keep doing this until you guys fucking listen. So
or until you don't listen.
All right, here we go. Let's wrap it up. Happy New Year to you guys. Hope you had a good 2019. Hope you have an even better 2020, and we will see you guys next week.
Happy New Year.